Stratton's new partner.
Zayn is no good guy.
And Solo still wants the keys to the Rolls Royce. Ooh, who writes this stuff? Hello, welcome to Wrestle MSX, the best wrestling channel you've never heard of. I'm Michael.
I'm Sally.
Rhea Ripley kicks things off and tells us that Jade and her crew have peed her off and is itching for a fight. Ripley then offers Cargill a match at Clash in Italy, which Cargill kind of told us last week. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss then head out and remind Rhea they have a 6-woman tag match on Saturday, with Charlotte then asking where she was last week. Rhea says she went home, with Flair saying they needed her help last week when they faced Jade and Co. Flair adds that they need her help with her problem. The two then argue, with Flair accusing Rhea of trying to drive a wedge between her and Bliss. Fatal Influence then head out, with Double J saying she's ascended to the top with ease, or rather they've ascended to the top with ease. Flair isn't interested in the back and forth and invites any two of the three to face her and Bliss later tonight.
Backstage, Kathy Kelly asks for Talla's thoughts on his match with Shinsuke Nakamura, but before he can answer, Solo pulls the mic away from Talla and says he's ready, adding he wants everyone to watch before looking over at Tonga. Royce Keys then appears and tells Solo he cost him a title shot last week and tells him to keep out of his business. Solo says if he didn't want help, then he should have just said, "You're the one who threw the chair in my face." He then again says he needs someone to watch his back on SmackDown before adding, who better than family?
Oh, Solo, just let it go. We then cut to Alexa Bliss telling Flair she isn't fit for tonight before fake sneezing. Flair asks what was that before Bliss says she's okay but sick of being in the middle of her and Rhea, so wants the pair to make up and tag together later.
So first up, Talla Tonga with Solo and Tama versus Shinsuke and Nakamura. Talla absolutely dominates, even though Shinsuke does send Talla over the top rope. Nakamura does make a brief comeback, even getting a 2 count, and then looking for the Kinshasa, but Solo gets on the apron and distracts him. Nakamura fights him off and then runs at Talla, but Talla scoop slams him and then finishes him with a choke slam and cover.
Very surprised by that scoop slam, but for a fella that size, but very impressive. After the match, the MFTs enter the ring with Solo about to spike Nakamura when Tama catches Solo's hand and stops him. Solo looks at him, with Tama then hitting the cutthroat to Nakamura. Solo then hugs Tama, with the MFTs then beating down Shinsuke, but not for long, as out runs Damian Priest, chair in hand, and scares them off.
We get a vignette of tribal combat between Fatu and Reigns, and then cut to backstage where Nick Aldis is speaking to a ref. As he does, the lights flicker, with Aldis then telling the ref to sort it out. As he heads off, Cody Rhodes comes into shot, with Aldis saying at the moment Gunther isn't here, so the contract still isn't signed. Cody wants to repeat last week by going to the ring, but Aldis says he'll make sure the contract is signed. Rhodes turns to head off, but his path is blocked by Sami Zayn. Sami offers Cody his help on beating Gunther, with Rhodes saying thanks, but no thanks, before heading off. Sami doesn't like the answer and then asks Aldis if he has a spot, with Aldis saying time is tight. Sami wants a little and feels disrespected, before saying if Golden Boy asked for time, he'd get it. As he says this, Rhodes comes up behind him. You want a match? Let's you and me have a match tonight.
Just making matches up now.
Yeah.
We then see Tama telling Solo he's weak, and that's why everyone's coming for them. Tama then says he has to face Priest alone for the family, with Solo then heading off to find Aldis.
Next up, Tiffany Stratton has an open challenge for a United States Championship. The Irresistible Forces answer, with Lash taking up the offer. The Forces say they'll end the nostalgia tour of Brie and Paige tomorrow before heading to the ring and the match getting underway. Lash gets the upper hand and choke bombs Stratton onto the apron before heading back inside the ring. As she poses for the crowd, out comes Chelsea Green as we head to a break.
2 count covers are exchanged, with Lash then posting herself and allowing Stratton to land a backwards tumbling handspring and cover for 2. Jax then interferes as Stratton goes high, but manages to fight her off. Green isn't keen on this and pushes Jax into the ring post. This draws Lash's ire, with Lash then grabbing Green. Stratton, of course, takes advantage and rolls up Legend for the 1, 2, 3.
Backstage, we see Nick Aldis on the phone and telling someone that he needs to sort out the power situation. As he continues to walk, a backstager gets his attention and points to a door, telling him the power problem, or lack of, is coming from in there.
It's the boiler room, basically, so it's Mankind. He's making a comeback.
Aldis then opens the door and we find Danhausen working on his science experiment.
Quite disappointing.
At one point, Aldis tries to take a peek at what's under the sheet on the gurney, but Danhausen tells him not to touch.
I'm thinking this is gingerbread. It kind of like where the gurney, where the head would be, it was a little bit too round. It might have just been the gurney, but I don't know. It's ridiculous. We then hear from Kathy Kelly, who asks The Miz and Kit Wilson who's in Danhausen's lab, with Miz saying he doesn't care. Miz still doesn't believe there's a curse, with Fraxium then showing up. This results in Miz offering to embarrass Axiom next week in his hometown, which is Barcelona, because they're coming over here.
Nice. Trick Williams and Little Yachty head out next, with the pair talking about The Miz. Yachty says if you interrupt the champ, you're going to get stepped on, with Trick then getting interrupted by Carmelo Hayes. He says he was screwed out of the championship and defended it every night. He then asks Trick to give him and the fans what they want, a title match right now. Yachty answers saying he doesn't have time, with Hayes saying they go way back, and the old Trick wouldn't let someone tell him what to do and when to do it, adding he was always better at playing second fiddle.
Now, I'm assuming this is NXT or an NXT reference, but for people like me,
and me,
it's lost.
After more babbling, Trick says he'll take on Hayes, but the open challenge was done the moment he won the championship. Trick then calls for a ref.
So, Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes. More slaps than I would have liked, with Trick picking up 2 off a Trick bookend. When we come back from the break, we see Ricky Saints has made his way to ringside, with a Dirty Diana then netting Hayes 2. A Cyclone knee gets Trick 2, with the first 48 getting Hayes the same. Hayes then goes high, but Saints distracts him, with Trick taking advantage and knocking Hayes down.
Hayes falls to the outside where Saints taunts him, but Trick follows and pushes Saints away. The superstars return to the ring, but Saints gets on the apron, distracting Trick. Hayes goes for a roll, but the refs too busy arguing with Saints on the apron to count the cover. Hayes gets up and goes for Saints, but Saints jumps down, with Hayes then turning into a trick shot and being covered for the 1, 2, 3.
I was expecting a little bit more from this. I don't know why we was hitting.
Yeah,
and
just
I'm
having a
sure
little
they've
slappy slaps,
both got more in them than just that.
Yeah.
We then see Zayn attack some water bottles before he comes across Johnny Gargano. He says he's been there for Rhodes and was happy to do that because that's what friends do, and then claims he's the real last good guy.
Saints is then asked by Kathy Kelly why he was out there, with Saints saying he's new, but he's not new. He then gets blindsided by Hayes telling him to stay out of his business.
We have a rerun of what Lesnar did to Oba from Raw, with this followed by the next match, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley versus Fallon Henley and Lainey Reed. Bliss and Jane are at ringside. Flair and Fallon start, with Flair starting with a new forward roll flip type thing. It's a pretty back and forth match, with Mommy getting the hot tag and destroying all before her. Ripley then ducks a strike by Reed, which catches Flair, knocking her from the apron.
Rhea then hits Riptide, but Flair tags her, gets in the ring, hits Natural Selection and then covers for the win. After the match, the winners are jumped by Cargill and Co, with Flair and Bliss being thrown from the ring. This then allows Cargill to hit Jaded and stand over Ripley.
Kathy Kelly barges into Cody's dressing room and asks him if the match with Sami differs from the one against Gunther. Cody says he and Sami are friends, but he's going to make him look in the mirror and make him accountable.
We take a look at the story so far for Reigns and Fatu again, and then see Kathy Kelly asking Jade and Co. what they're hoping to prove with the attack. Meechin says there's one dominant team in WWE, which is them, and at Saturday night's main event they're going to prove that again. Cargill says they're the thing that matters, and adds that she's going to get her title back. More interestingly, in the background we see Tiffany Stratton talking with someone. The two speak, with Stratton then putting her arm around the other person's shoulders and then walking off. It's not green, as this person is wearing like a white cream dress, whereas green is in black, as we see her later still in what she was wearing earlier.
Yes. Next up, Damian Priest versus Solo Sikoa. Priest attacks Solo from the off, sending him from the ring and then into the ring steps before heading back to the ring. Tama then interfered, even though he said Solo had to do it himself, with Solo then landing a Samoan drop. After the break, it's all Priest, with him even getting a 2. Talla and Tama run interference again, with Solo landing a spinning solo and cover again for 2. The MFTs try again to interfere, but Priest fights off Tama before struggling with Talla. Priest goes for momentum off the ropes to knock him from the apron, but gets hit by a Samoan spike and then covered for the 3. After the match, the MFTs attack Priest, with Royce Keys heading out for the save. He sees off Talla and Tama and then squares up to Solo, but Solo isn't interested and rolls out the ring. Priest then grabs Keys around the throat, but then realises who it is and releases the grip.
We have a vignette from the Women's Tag Champs before we run through the Saturday night's main event card, and then we see Blake Monroe speaking with Chelsea Green. Monroe introduces herself and then adds that she saw Green out there and wishes she hadn't. Monroe then heads off, with Green then getting attacked by the Irresistible Forces. We also see Priest and Keys arguing, with Royce saying he was called by Truth to have Priest's back. Priest said he doesn't trust Keys because he could be working with the MFTs, with Keys saying if it's an issue you want, it's an issue you're gonna get.
I mean, all Priest has to do is watch SmackDown.
I know, yeah. Just roll it back.
And then he knows that
Keys it's only on Netflix.
Very, very simple. So, to the last match of the night and the main event of the evening. Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes. Zayn works Rhodes' left knee, but Cody gets the champ a 2 count. Zayn then blasts Rhodes off the apron and over the announcer's desk, with Rhodes then barely making the ring at the count of 9. A Super Cody Cutter then gets another 2 count, with Zayn replying with a Blue Thunderbomb and getting 2.
Sami ties Cody up in a figure 4, with Rhodes reversing it only for Sami to make the ropes. The pair then exchange blows, with a disaster kick allowing Rhodes to get the upper hand. Rhodes then looks for a crossroads, but Gunther appears from behind him and puts him in a sleeper.
What a surprise.
The ref is with Zayn then pushing him out of the way, running at Gunther and Rhodes.
Rhodes ducks, with Sami haluva kicking Gunther. Rhodes then grabs Sami, hits him with the crossroads and covers for the 1, 2, 3. After the match, Gunther and Rhodes go at it, with Gunther getting the better of the champ. The Austrian then goes to Sami, asking what he's going to do, with Gunther then looking Rhodes in another sleeper. Sami watches on and then exits the ring, albeit conflicted. Gunther then picks up the title and holds it aloft, with SmackDown then going off the air as Gunther stands on the ropes. I mean, you kind of knew Gunther was going to come down.
Yeah.
I think you kind of knew Cargill was going to come down.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah. I think it's just a pretty standard.
I mean, I know they're
SmackDown.
waiting for after the matches, but just get on with it.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Gunther did. He did do it while the match was ongoing, but yeah, you kind of know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Especially with Saturday night's main event coming up and then Clash in Italy and
exactly
people giving away the game like Cargill. I'm going
a week early.
Why? Who said you're going to Clash in Italy?
Exactly.
I mean, Rhea just said it tonight. She says, Cargill, you and me, Clash in Italy. But we, as I say, we already knew.
That was already confirmed last week.
Yeah, ridiculous. Anyway, now for Michael's moment of the night. This could be a match, a line, a local promo. Something funny, interesting, serious, quirky and or different. Just something that catches my eye. obviously it has to wait until the end, because if I do it halfway through and it's something that happens at the end, it's kind of a spoiler. So Michael's moment of the night, sometimes good, sometimes shite.
Yeah.
So hang around and wait and see as to whether you disagree. This was tough again tonight. There was nothing
Nothing happened.
major. But for me, it was Stratton and who she's talking to. Now, I'd already typed up that she was talking to Green. I'd says, oh, you can see Cargill in the foreground speaking to Kathy Kelly. In the background, Stratton's talking to Chelsea Green. The thing was, Green had a different outfit on. It was like a white or cream or whatever you call it. But I was still going with it. I realised that, yeah, it's talking to Green. But then later on in the night, you see Green speaking to Blake Monroe. And Green is still in the black dress that she had on earlier when Stratton was having her match. So it's not Green. So I had to go back and amend it to Stratton's talking to somebody. Who it is, I don't know. But I like that because it's somebody else new, maybe. I can't tell who it is.
You do have to watch the background, don't you?
Yeah,
because it's not always like close in the background. It's sometimes like quite far away as well.
You have to get the binoculars out. Like, what's that over there? But I mean, who it could be, no idea.
Any thoughts that you have? Who it might be? Then please feel free to share them with us in that comment section just down below. Don't forget to go and check out our musings video with our thoughts and honest opinions on the last week of WWE, because a new one drops every
time you like and subscribe.
Nice Wednesday.
As always, thank you very much for watching.
And we'll see you Sunday for a look at Saturday night's main event, and then Monday for Raw.